Welcome back, Speedway fans, to XSRAtv Speedway race news coverage. From the KCRP dirt track in Bakersfield, California, a tip of the cap to vintage Speedway bikes and their riders. Steve Evans Speedway Promotions hosted a showing for the Over the Hill gang at this event, calling it the Vintage Class. The heats with vintage riders, all 50 years and older, raced classic stand-up Speedway bikes. They were the fastest bikes of their day, but you rarely see them on a track nowadays unless you're here in California. Supported by John Debris, enough of these old geezers came out to have a few heats, and it looked like a lot of fun. Let's check out a few of those heats at the dirt track. After the preliminary heats from both Vintage 50 Plus and Vintage 60 Plus racers were completed, the first Vintage Pro Class racers came out, and they included veteran racers Fast Eddie Castro and Brad Sauer. They were joined by both the Todd brothers, Retton and Reese, as well as Gino Manzares, who was racing the old Jawa he originally started racing on. The Vintage 50 Plus main included 12C from Colorado, Mike Jardon. Number 28, Pat Litt from Colorado. Number 108, Bobby Richards from Colorado. And number 138, Jim Sanders out of Morro Bay, California. The Vintage 60 Plus main included California riders number 7, 70-year-old Bob Waller, number 163, Rowdy Ron Davis, number 240, Dan Waller, number 180, Malcolm Rowe, and number 3C from Colorado, David Piper. The Vintage Pro main saw Fast Eddie Castro against youngsters for their first time in the race on these vintage bikes, Reese Todd and Alex Martin. Fast Eddie would smoke the two youngsters with a blistering 50.89 seconds on his 1980s Jawa. That's all for the vintage racing classes here at Bakersfield's Dirt Track. We'll be back with more extreme speedway racing action here on XSRA.tv's Speedway Racing News.